I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Colima arrives this night in Morelia.
He is very nearby this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
Victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young man from Monterey called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Morelia who will be very much glad of it.
I pray you, Signor Montando returned from the war, or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
Is this he that you asked for, niece?
My cousin means Senor Benedict of Puebla.
Oh, yes, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Morelia and challenged Cupid at the flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed to Cupid and challenged him at the bird hunt. But I tell you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many he killed? For I promised you all of his killings.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victuals, and he helped you eat them. He's a very valiant glutton. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier, too, lady.
Oh, a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord. A man to a man. Stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is indeed, he is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There's a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Who is his companion now? He have every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
It's very easily possible. He wears his faith, but is the fashion of his cap. It ever changes with the next block.
Oh, I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squire now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang on him like a disease. He's sooner caught than the pestilence. God help the young Claudio. If you've caught the Benedict, he will surely run mad.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Good Signor Leonardo. Are you come to meet your trouble? Fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Indeed, Signor, she is.
The happy lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Senor Leonardo be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all of Morelia, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Senor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
Ah, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die when she has such meat food to feed her, Senor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat, but it is certain I am loved of all ladies. Only you excepted, and I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
Oh, a dear happiness to women, though it else be troubled with a pernicious suitor. But I thank God in my cold blood I'm of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loved me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, lest some gentleman or other escape a predestinate scratched face.
Oh, scratching could not make it worse, 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
Oh, a bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
And that is the sum of all, Leonardo. Signor Claudio, Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonardo, have invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, Signor, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, Signor. Being reconciled to Don Pedro, your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please it, Signor. Lead on.
Your hand, Leonardo, we will go in together.
Benedict, didst thou know the daughter of Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest man should do, for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sect?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, in faith? Methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than what she was, she were unhandsome. And, being no other but what she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport? I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into.
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and were she not possessed with a fury, exceeds her in much in beauty, as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Has it come to this? Will I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, in faith, and thou wilt needs thrust the yoke around your neck, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro's returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you all here that you followed not to Leonardo?
I would you, Senor, would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Claudio? I can be as secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance, mark you, on my allegiance. He is in love. With who? Now, that is your part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
Ah! If this were so, so were it uttered.
Like the old tale, Senor.
It is not so. No, it was not so.
But indeed, God forbid it should be so.
If my passion changed not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, senor.
By my troth, I speak my thoughts.
And in faith, senor, I spoke mine.
And by my two faiths and truth, senor, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast never an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any, I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I will see the ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, senor, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for a sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat, and shoot at me, and he that hits, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try. In time, the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict doth bear it, pluck off the bull's horns, and set them on my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they say, here is good horse to hire, let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict, the married man.
In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair yourself to Leonardo. Commend me to him. Tell him I will not fail him at supper, for he hath made great preparations.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage. And so I commit to you, and so I leave you.
Senor, you now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how. And I will show thee how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Have Leonardo any son, senor?
No child but Hero, she is his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, senor, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task at hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant, in their rooms come thronging, soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to wars.
If thou lovest fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and you will have her. Was it out to this end thou began to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that know love's grief by his complexion.
Look, what will serve as fit? 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have reveling tonight, and I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero that I am Claudio, and in her bosom I will unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after, with her father will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt not of.
Ah, is it good?
Don Pedro and Claudio, walking in a thick-pleached alley in mine orchard, were thus much overheard by a man of mine. Don Pedro discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night at a dance. And if he found her accordant, meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit that told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
No. We will hold it as a dream until it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter with all, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true.
But the good year, senor.
Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient's sufferance.
I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry. Ha! And claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this until you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root, except by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. What news, Barago?
I came yonder from a great supper. Don Pedro, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonardo, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Indeed, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
It is he.
Ooh, a proper squire. And who? And who? Which way looks he?
Indeed, one hero. The daughter and heir of Leonardo.
Ah, a very forward march chick. How came you to this?
As I was walking along yonder passage, comes me Don Pedro and Senor Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the pillars, and there heard it agreed upon that Don Pedro should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Senor Claudio.
Come, come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, senor.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon you, senor.
Was not Don Juan Diego here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tawdry that gentleman looks. I can never see him, but I'm heartburned an hour after.
He's of a very melancholy disposition.
Oh, he were an excellent man that were made in just the midway between him and Senor Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing. The other is too like my lady's eldest son, ever more tattling.
Why then half Senor Benedict's tongue in Don Juan's mouth, and half Don Juan's melancholy in Senor Benedict's face.
Oh, with a good leg and a good foot, uncle. Money enough in his purse. Well, such a man could win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
Faith, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she is too cross.
If God send me no husband, for which blessing I am at him on my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I'd rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What am I to do with him? Dress him in my garments and make him my gentle waiting woman. He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, well, I am not for him.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
In faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you. But for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you fitted one day with a husband.
Oh, not till God make man out of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I find it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If Don Pedro do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault be in the music if you be not wooed in time. If Don Pedro be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and thus dance out the answer. For hear me, hero. Wooing, wedding, and repentance are like a Scotch jig, a measure, and a syncopace. The first suite is hot and hasty like a Scotch jig, full and fantastical. The wedding, mannerly, modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the syncopace faster and faster until he sink into his grave.
Niece, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I've a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
Ah, the revelers are entering. Sister, make good room.
Lady, what do you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company.
I may say so when I please.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done.
I know you well enough. You are my brother-in-law, Leonardo.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's my dry hand, up and down. You are he. You are he.
At a word, I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, Mum. Graces will appear, and there's an inn.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
And will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful and had my good wit out of 100 merry tales? Well, that was Senor Benedict said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Has he never made you laugh?
I pray you. What is he?
He is Don Pedro's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them. Then they laugh at him and they beat him.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Oh, do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure not marked nor laughed at, will strike him into melancholy. Then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing!
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I'll leave them at the next turning.
is our hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
You are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
Oh, and so did I too. And he swore he would marry her tonight.
Let us to the supper.
Thus answer I in name of Benedict. But hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. Don Pedro woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Claudio,
Yea, the same.
come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow, about your own business. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck, like a usurer's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for Don Pedro hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
But do you think Don Pedro would have served you
I
thus?
pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl, now he'll creep into sedges. But that my Lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. Don Pedro's fool. Ha! It may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yea, but so am I apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, senor, where's Claudio? Have you seen him?
I found him here, as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that you, senor, had got the goodwill of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, there to fashion himself a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What is his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy, who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust to transgression? The transgression is in the stealing.
Yet it had not been amiss, the rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed upon you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
No, no. I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
Well, if they're singing, answer your saying. By my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice had a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her last night told her she was much wronged by you.
She misused me, past the endurance of a block. An oak, with but one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was Don Pedro's jester. That I was duller than the great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me that I stood like a man at a mark with the whole army shooting at me. She speaks daggers, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her, she would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all Adam had in him before he transgressed. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live in quiet in hell, as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose because they would go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follow her.
Oh, look, here she comes.
Would you, Senor, offer me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the Antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off the great Calm's beard, do you any embassage to the pygmies rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me.
None other than to desire your good company.
God, Senor, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, he lent it me a while, and I gave him good use of it. A double heart for a single one. Indeed, once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well have said I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady, you have put him down.
So that he should not do me, my lord, lest I prove the mother of fools. I have brought Claudio, whom you've sent me to seek.
Oh, now, Claudio, what for art thou sad?
Not sad, senor.
How then sick?
Neither, senor.
Claudio is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count. Civil as an orange, and something of a jealous complexion.
Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name. Fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, his good will obtain, in the date of thy marriage, and God give thee joy.
Signor, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. Don Pedro hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Claudio, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let not him speak neither.
Faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Oh, good lord, for an alliance. There goes everyone to the world but I. I am sunburned. I may well sit in a corner and cry, hey-ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
Has your grace no brother like you?
Will you have me, lady?
Why, no, unless I could have another for working days. Your grace is too costly for me to wear every day. But I beseech your grace's pardon. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Well, it is your silence that most offends me. Being merry best becomes you, for out of question, you were born in a merry hour.
Nay, my lord, my mother cried, but then a star danced, and under that was I born. Oh. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry your mercy, uncle. By your grace's pardon.
On my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, Signor. She's never sad but when she sleeps. And not ever sad then, for I've heard my daughter say she often dreamt of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She will not endure to hear tell of a husband.
I no means, Signor. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord, Signor. If they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Claudia, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, senor. Time goes on crutches until love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just 7 night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things unto my mind.
Come, you shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I will no doubt but to fashion it, if you three will administer such assistance as I shall give you direction.
I am for you, Signor, though it cost me 10 nights' watching.
And I, Senor.
And you too, gentle hero.
I will do any modest office, senor, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopeless husband that I know. Thus far I can praise him. He is of noble strain, approved valor, confirmed honesty. I will teach you to humor your cousin so that she will fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict that despite his quick wit and queasy stomach, he will fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, hold that please. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love god. Go on with me. I'll give you my drink.
It is so. Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yea, senor, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I believe I told you a year since how much I am in the favor of Margarita, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her senorita's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. So go then to Don Pedro, your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation you mightily hold up, to a contaminated stale. What such a one as Hero?
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse Don Pedro, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonardo. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meetout to draw Don Pedro and Senor Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances, which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margarita Hero. And bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparations overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 10,000 pesos.
Be you constant in your accusation? And my cunning will not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
Come, let us hear this music.
Hey, Senor, how still the evening is, has hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
Come, Balthazar, we will hear that song again.
Oh, good senor, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
It is the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection.
No.
I pray you sing, make me woo no more.
Note this, before my notes, there's not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Oh, by my troth, then I will sing. Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men are deceivers ever, one put in sea and one on shore, one thing constant never. Let's sign up so let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sons of woe into a naughty, naughty, into a naughty, naughty, into a naughty, naughty. I might trust a fine song, but an ill singer.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music in him but the drum and the fife. Now would he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would walk 10 miles afoot to see a good suit of armor. And now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He used to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now, his words are a very fantastical banquets, just so many strange dishes. Will I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be so sworn that love may transform me to an oyster, but I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But until all graces be in one woman shall never come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll look not on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it shall please God. Don Pedro and Monsieur Love. I will hide me away here.
Come hither, Leonardo. Hath you seen where Benedict hid himself?
Very well, Signor.
Signor, what was it you told me of today, that your niece Beatrice is in love with Signor Benedict?
What? I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible?
By my troth, Signor, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection.
Maybe
she passed the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith? Like enough.
Oh, counterfeit, oh Lord. There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects? Why, she will sit you... you heard my daughter tell you how.
She did, indeed.
How? I pray you, you amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, Signor, especially against Benedict.
He hath taken the infection, hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swear she never will, that's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so oft encountered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now, when she is beginning to write to him. For she will be up 20 times a night, And there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper, I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
When she had writ it, and was reading it o'er, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheets. She tore the letter into 1,000 pieces, and railed at herself that she should be so immodest as to write to one that she knew would flout her. For I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, and I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I loved him, I should.
Then, down upon her knees, she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God, give me patience.
Yes, so she does. My daughter says so. And the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself. 'Tis very true.
It's good that Benedict know this by some other. She would not discover it.
To what end? He would but make a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should it were an alms to hang him, for she was an excellent sweet lady. On all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
And everything but loving Benedict.
I'm sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had done this on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedict of this and hear what he will say.
No, were it good, think you?
The hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
Oh, she doth well. But 'tis good that the man does such a thing, that she would do so.
Well, he is a very proper man.
Well, in everything, but loving Beatrice true, but he hath a good outward appearance.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
Well, he does have some sparks that are light wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
Oh, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, senor, and let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that were impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we shall hear further by your daughter. Let it cool a while, for I love Benedict well, and I can only hope that he would modestly examine himself to show how unworthy he is of so good a lady.
Signor, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If ye do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let us send her out to call him into dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They will say that I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. Well, they say, too, that she will rather die than show any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth. I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me, or by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument to her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice now. By this day, she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Ah! Against my will, I'm sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I wouldn't have come.
You take pleasure, then, in the message?
Yea, as much as you may take upon a knife point and choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, senor. Fare you well.
Ha! Against my will, I am sent to bid thee come to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much as to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity on her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a fool.
Good Margarita, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with Don Pedro and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and my aunt walk in the courtyard and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us and bid her steal into the pleached bower where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter. There will she hide her to listen our propose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warn you, presently.
Now, auntie, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay. Now, begin, for look, where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who, even now, is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue?
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false, sweet bait we lay for it. No, truly, auntie, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says Don Pedro and my betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, niece?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice should couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man. But nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look upon, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure. Such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice's cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
But tell her of its niece. Hear what she will say.
No, rather, I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passions. And truly I'll devise some honest slander to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Senor Benedict.
He's the only man of Mexico. I've always accepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you be not angry with me, niece. Speaking my fancy, Senor Benedict, for shape, forbearing, argument, and valor goes foremost in report throughout the land.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, niece?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's lying, I warrant you. We have caught our niece.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? But contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our love up in holy band. Brothers say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
I will stay until our marriage be consummate, then I will head toward Colima.
I'll bring you thither, senor, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will be bold only with Benedict for his company. For from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. Twice or thrice he hath cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue a clatter. Whatever his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallant, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's not one true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did.
Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can't you smell him out by that?
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
Its greatest note is his melancholy. Indeed, I tell a heavy tale for him. Conclude, conclude. He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That I would know too. I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
Yet this is no charm for the toothache. Old senor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
On my life, to break with him about Beatrice.
Is even so, Hero and Margarita have by this played their part with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My brother, God save you.
Good day, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private.
If it please you. Yet Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Mean you, senor, to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me. By that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent, and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonardo's hero. Your hero.
Every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight. You will see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I cannot think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her, then, tomorrow, in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
As I woo thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, date untowardly turned.
So you will say when you have seen the sequel.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity, but we should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for you, if you have any allegiance in you, being chosen for Don Pedro's watch. Well, I'll give you your charge. First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugo Oatcake, sir, for he can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Oatcake. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature. Well, for your favor, my friend, why, give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear where there is no need for such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lanthorn. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in Don Pedro's name.
How if they will not stand?
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
thief. If they will not stand when they are bidden, then they are none of Don Pedro's men.
You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We know it belonged to a watch.
Why, you speak like a most quiet and ancient watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your weapons be not stolen. You shall call at all the alehouses and bid them that are drunk get you to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober. And if they make you then not the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle and make with them lie, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do meet a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You've always been known as a merciful man.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him. If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it baas will never answer a calf when he bleats.
'Tis very true.
Well, this is the end of your charge. Senors, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night.
Well then, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon this bench until 2, and then all to bed.
One more word, honest neighbors. I pray you, watch about Senor Leonardo's door tonight, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there is great coil tonight. Adios. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Boy, Conrad! Peace, stern on! Conrad, I said!
Here, man, I am at thy elbow. Now forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close and under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee. Some treason, neighbor, yet stand close. Therefore know that I have earned of Don Juan Diego 10,000 pesos.
Is it possible any villainy should be so dear?
Thou should rather ask, is it possible that any villainy should be so rich? For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vane on that house.
Now know that I have tonight wooed Margarita, waiting gentlewoman to Hero, by the name of Hero. She leans me out of her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. Oh, I should first tell thee how Don Pedro, Senor Claudio, and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master, saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margarita was Hero?
2 of them did. Don Pedro and Senor Claudio. But the devil, my master, knew she was Margarita. And partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, and partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don Juan Diego had made. Away went Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her as it was appointed the next morning at the temple. And there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight. Wow. And send her home again without a husband.
Stand! We charge you in the name of the law. Stand!
I'll take you to right master constable. What we have here, recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery.
That never was known in the Commonwealth.
Masters!
Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us. Move!
Come, we'll obey you.
God give me joy to wear this gown, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art thou ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence a husband. If bad thinking do not rest true speaking, I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, if it be the right husband with the right wife. Otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my Lady Beatrice, else here she comes.
Good morrow, Pattis. Good morrow, sweet hero. Why, how now? Do you speak in a sick tune? I'm all out of other tunes, methinks. Oh, 'tis almost time for the wedding. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceedingly ill.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all in H. These gloves Claudio sent me, they are of an excellent perfume. Oh, I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
Oh, maid and stuffed. There's going to be catching of cold.
Oh, God help me, God help me. When have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your hat. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus, and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for qualm.
There, now you pricked her with a thistle. Benedictus? Why this Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? By my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think you are in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I am not such a fool to think what I choose, nor I choose not to think what I can. Nor indeed I cannot think, if I would think my heart out of thinking, that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet, Benedict was such another, and now he is become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
Where's this thy pace thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Niece, withdraw! Don Pedro, Claudio, Senor Benedict, Don Juan Diego, all the gallants of the town have come to fetch you to church.
Oh, help dress me, good guys. Good Margarita.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Indeed, senor, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you near.
Brief, I pray you, for as you see, it is a busy time with me.
Indeed, this it is, senor.
What is it, my good friend?
I thank God that I am as honest as any man living, and no one is honester than I. Comparisons are odorous.
Neighbor, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but I am the poor town's officer. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 100,000 pesos more than 'tis.
We fain know what you have to say.
Oh, indeed, senor. Our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, have taken a couple of as arid knaves as any in Morelia. Indeed, I did have some small help in this from a good old man, but as they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it's a world to see. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride of a horse. One must ride behind. An honest soul and faith, senor, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike, alas.
Indeed, good neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, senor. Our watch, senor, have indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Well, take that examination yourself and bring it me, for I am now in great haste as it may appear unto you.
It shall be sufficance.
Drink some wine ere you go, and fare you well.
Senor, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband?
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
I am now to examination these men, and I must do it wisely. I will spare for no wit, I warrant you. I'll get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the jail.
Come, Friar Francis. Come, big grief. Only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, senor, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her. You come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this man.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, senor.
Know you any, senor?
I dare make his answer, none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do. Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing unless you render her again.
Senor, you learned me noble thankfulness. Fair Leonardo, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold, how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her here, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
Ah, what do you mean, senor?
Not to be married. Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Yes, senor. If you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity...
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say, she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate beforehand sin? No, Leonardo. I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever
from me seeming. I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Are you not well, senor, that you doth speak so wise?
What? Don Pedro, speak not you.
What shall I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these words spoken? Or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken. And these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True! Oh, God!
Leonardo, stand I here? Is this Don Pedro? Is this his brother? Is this face heroes? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, senor?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so as thou art my child.
Oh, God, defend me, how I am beset. What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Indeed, that can hero. Hero itself can blot out hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you out at your window yesternight betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, senor.
Why then are you no maiden? Leonardo, I am sorry you must hear, but on my honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved youth did see her, hear her last night at that hour, at her chamber window, talk with a ruffian, who hath indeed most like a liberal villain, confess the vile encounters they had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, senor, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgoverned.
Oh, hero. What a hero hadst thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell. Thou pure impiety and impious purity, for thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it more be gracious.
So hath no man daggered here a point for me?
Oh, no, cousin hero. Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Death, I think. Uncle, help. Hero, why hero? Uncle, Senior Benedict Friar.
Ah, fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
Oh, no, cousin hero.
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Oh, yes. Why, wherefore should she not?
Or, why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, though thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would, on the rearward of reproaches, strike at thy life. Grieved I had but one. Chid I for that at frugal nature's frame. One too much by thee. Why had I won? Why ever wast thou lovely in mine eyes? Why had I not with charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, that smirched thus and mired in infamy? I might have said, no part of it is mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins. Oh, she is fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salts too little that may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so tired and wonder I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied!
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although I had until last night this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. No, that is stronger me that was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two brothers lie? Would Claudio lie? Who loved her so, that speaking of her foulness, washed it with tears? Hence from her let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions distorted to her face. 1,000 innocent shames and angel whiteness beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors these men hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool, trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenure of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Ah, friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the shame, that all the grace that she hath left, is that she will not add to her damnation the sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekst thou to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that to accuse me I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my Father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in these men.
2 of them have the bent of honor. And if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in Juan the bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. For time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft me so much of friends, but they shall find a weight in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability and means, and choice of friends, to quit me of them throughly.
Pause a while and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, these men left for dead. Let her a while be kept secretly in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and upon your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What should become of this? What should this do?
Indeed, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. She, dying as it must so be maintained upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. When Claudio shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life into the eye and prospect of his soul than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. The supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy, and if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. And though you know, my inwardness and love is very much unto Don Pedro and Claudio, yet by mine honor, I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being as I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented, presently away, for to strange sores strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wrong.
Oh, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but it is not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. It's not that strange.
Strange is the thing I know not. For it's possible for me to say I love nothing so well in the world as you. But believe me not, yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. Oh, I'm sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear to it that you love me. And I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest. I love thee.
Then God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest that I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart, there is none left to protest.
Come. Bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You killed me to deny it. Fare you well.
Tower, good Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Has he not proven in the height a villain that has scorned, slandered, dishonored my kinswoman? God, that I were a man. What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands? And then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out of window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Oh, important men, and their noble testimony. Oh, a sweet gallant, surely. God, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had any friend be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongues, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die a woman with grief.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand, I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough! I am engaged, I will challenge. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go comfort your cousin. I must say that she is dead. And so farewell.
Is our whole dissembly appeared? Oh, a stool and cushion for the sexton.
Now, which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Borago.
Pray, write down Borago. Yours, senor?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Do you serve God?
Yea, sir, we hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God. And write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Senores, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves. How answer you for yourselves?
Indeed, sir, I say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, senor. A word in your ear, senor. I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves.
Senor, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. Before God, they are both of a tale. Have you written down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Indeed, this is the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Neighbors, I charge you in Don Pedro's name, accuse these men.
He said, sir, that Don Juan Diego, Don Pedro's brother, was a villain.
Write down Don Juan Diego, a villain. Why, this is flat lechery to call Don Pedro's brother villain.
Senor Constable, if I...
Pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy looks, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Indeed, that he had received 10,000 pesos of Don Juan Diego for accusing Senorita Hero wrongfully.
Oh, flat burglary as ever was committed.
What else, fellow?
And that Claudio did mean, upon his word, to disgrace Hero in front of the entire assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this, gentlemen, is more than you can deny. Don Juan Diego is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonardo's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinions. Off, coxcomb! Oh, God's my life! Where's the sexton? Have him write down Don Pedro's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind him, thou naughty varlet.
Away! Thou art an ass!
Oh, you are an ass! Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But, neighbors, remember that I am an ass. Though it not be written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Morelia. and one that knows the law go to, and a rich fellow enough go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away! Oh, that I had been writ down an ass!
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself. And 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ear as profitless as water in its sail. Give me no counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her was overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Let him measure my woe, the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, and such a grief for such, in every lineament, branch, shape, and form, if such a man will smile when he should mourn. Then I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man. For sister, men make counsel, and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel. Indeed, 'tis all men's office to speak patience to those that wring under the load of sorrow. But no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral when he shall endure the like himself. Therefore give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than admonishment.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
Oh, I prithee, peace. I will be flesh and blood. For there was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently, however much they writ with style of gods, and make a push at chance and sufferance.
Pin not all the harm upon yourself. Let those that do offend you suffer too.
Thou speakst reason. I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall Don Pedro, and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Here come Don Pedro and Claudio hastily.
Good day, good day. Good day to both of you.
Hear you, senores.
We're in some haste, Leonardo.
Oh, some haste, senores. Well, fare you well, senores. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is well.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself by quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Indeed. Thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler thou. No, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with grey hairs and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say, thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slanders have gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say that right, old man.
I'll prove it on his body if he dare. Despite his nice fence and his active practices, May of youth and bloom of lusty order.
Away! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so deaf me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killst me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
Content thyself. God knows I love my niece, and she is dead. Slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man indeed as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Yes, Sister Antonia.
Oh, I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, and go antically, and show outward hideousness, and speak half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies, if they dare.
But Sister Antonia.
Come, do not meddle. 'Tis no matter. Let me deal in this.
My heart is sorry for thy daughter's death. On my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
Senor,
I will not hear you.
No. Come, Antonia. Away. I will be heard.
And shall, for some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to see.
Now, Senor, what news?
Good day, Senor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy. Wilt thou use thy wit?
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject. Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good. How you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet thee, so that I may have good cheer.
Senor, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother, the bastard, has fled from Morelia. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. As for my Lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. And until then, peace be upon him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit. Soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother hath fled?
Come you, Senor. If justice cannot tame you, she shall never weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brothers been bound, Barago one.
Hearken after their offense, Senor.
Officers, what offenses have these men done?
Indeed, Senor, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First I ask you what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what is their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division, and by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answers? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Don Pedro, look you no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this gentleman kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don Juan Diego, your brother, incensed me to slander Senorita Hero. How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margarita in hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my own death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly I desire nothing more but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is confirmed and framed in villainy, and fled he is upon this treachery.
Sweet hero, now the image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Take away the plaintiffs. By this time, our sexton hath reformed Senor Leonardo of the matter. And neighbors, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve that I am an ass.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hath killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled, that had a hand in it. I thank you, signores, for my daughter's death. Recorded with your high and worthy deeds, 'twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
On my soul, nor I, and yet to satisfy this good old man, I will bend under any heavy weight he will enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live, that were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people of Morelia here, how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, write her an epitaph, and hang it on her tomb. Hanged, sing it tonight. Sing it to her bones. And tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, senor, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow morning, then, I will expect your coming. Tonight, I take my leave. This naughty man will face to face be brought to Margarita, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No! On my soul she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, senor, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me an ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pay.
Oh, your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverent youth, and I praise God for you.
Yes, go. I discharge thee of thy prisoners, and I thank thee.
I leave an arrant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health.
Until tomorrow morning, sirs, farewell.
Farewell, sirs. We look to you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margarita. how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
I pray thee, sweet Mistress Margarita, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margarita, that no man living shall come over it. I pray thee call Beatrice.
Well, I will call Beatrice to thee, whom I think hath legs.
And therefore will come. The God of love that sits above. He knows me and knows me. How pitiful I deserve. I cannot show my love in rhyme. I have tried. I can find no rhyme for lady but baby. Innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn. A hard rhyme. For school, fool. A babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, signora, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay until then.
Oh, then is uttered. Fare you well. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I should depart unkissed.
Well, thou hast trited the word out of his rightful sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly. Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. I pray thee now tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For all of them together, which maintained so politic a state of evil that it allowed no good parts to intermingle with it. But I pray you, for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love. A good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart! If you spite it for my sake, I shall spite it for yours. For truly I cannot love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably. Now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill also.
Serve God, love me, and mend. Here I must leave you two, for here comes one in haste.
Beatrice, you must come to your uncle, yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my niece Hero has been falsely accused. Don Pedro and Claudio mightily abused. And Don Juan, the author of it all, who has fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you come here this new, senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thine eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thine uncle's.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are Don Pedro and Claudio, who accused her, upon the error that you heard debated. Margareta had some fault in this, although against her will, as it appears, in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning.
Daughter, and ye gentlewomen all retire to a chamber by yourselves, and when I call for you, come hither masked.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
But to do what, senor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Senor Leonardo. Truth it is, good senor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lend her. 'Tis most true.
And I do, with an eye of love, requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and Don Pedro. But what's your will?
But for my will is your good will may stand with ours, this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
Here they come.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
Yes, I am.
Call her forth, sister. Here's the friar ready.
Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This is she, and I do give you her.
Why, then she's mine. Sweet, let me see her face.
No, that thou shalt not, until you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband if you like of me.
When I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero!
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live, and surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero, the hero that is dead.
She died, signor, but while her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify, when after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently...
Soft and fair, friar. Which one's Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the others have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth. No. No more than reason.
Well, then my cousin Margarita and Antonio were much deceived. They did swear that you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, niece, I'm sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her, for here's a note written in his own hand. Halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
A miracle! Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I will not deny you, but on this good day I will yield to great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace. I will stop your mouth.
How now doth Benedict the married man?
I'll tell thee what, senor. A whole college of wit crackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram. No! If a man be beaten with brains, he shall never wear anything handsome about him. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing. And that is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be mine kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I had well hoped that thou would have denied, Beatrice, that I might have cudgelled thee out of thy single life to make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou wilt be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come. We'll be friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, and that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterwards.
First of my word, therefore play music. Don Pedro, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife.
Senor, your brother Don Juan Diego is taken in flight and brought with armed men back to Morelia.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise thee brave punishments for him. Strike up, players!
It's him